The largest animal walking the earth is terrified of one of the smallest. An adult elephant weighs as much as a small truck. It has no natural predators, no real enemies, nothing that can bring it down. And yet, a single bee can make that same elephant turn and run, not annoyed, not curious, genuinely drop everything, afraid. For years, nobody could prove why until a scientist hit a speaker in the grass and pressed play. So, what does the biggest animal on land know about bees that we didn't? To understand it, you have to go to the farms on the edge of the African wild. Out here, elephants and people have a problem. An elephant can flatten a family's entire year of food in a single night. Farmers have tried everything to keep them out: fences, fire, loud noises, even chili smoke. But an elephant is too big, too smart, and too hungry to stop for long. So the conflict kept getting worse, and elephants kept getting killed for it. But some of the older farmers kept saying the same strange thing. They said elephants avoided the trees where wild bees had built their hives. Scientists had actually noticed it too. Elephants would strip and smash acacia trees all over, but the trees holding beehives were left almost untouched. It sounded like a folk tale. Therefore, somebody finally decided to test it. In 2007, a young zoologist named Lucy King ran an experiment that sounds almost too simple. She hid a speaker near resting elephant families. Through that speaker, she played a recording of one thing: the buzz of a swarm of angry, disturbed bees. The reaction was instant. Out of 17 elephant families she tested, 16 turned and fled. Half of them were already leaving within 10 seconds of the sound. Remember, there were no actual bees, no stings, no swarm, nothing to see, just a sound coming from a bush. Only a single family didn't run, and they were young and had probably never been stung. So the fear wasn't random. It was learned, it was real, and it was powerful enough to move 6-ton animals with a whisper. But here's the part that makes it make sense. We picture an elephant as armor plated, thick, tough, untouchable, and most of it is, but not all of it, around the eyes, behind the ears, around the mouth, and especially inside the trunk, the skin is thin and tender. The trunk is the most sensitive, most important tool an elephant owns. Now, imagine a swarm of bees going straight for those soft spots. A sting inside the trunk or around the eyes is agony, even for a giant. And for a baby elephant with skin far thinner than an adult's, a serious swarm can be deadly. The African bees out here don't sting once and leave either. They swarm, they chase, and they don't give up easily. So the elephant's brain has done the math. You can't outfight a cloud of stings, therefore, you don't stand and fight. You run. Now you'd think a scared elephant just goes silent and bolts. It doesn't. And this is where the story gets genuinely incredible. When those elephants ran from the bee sound, King noticed they were making a specific low rumble. Elephants talk in deep, rumbling frequencies, some so low that we literally can't hear them. These sounds travel for miles through the ground and the air, and the rumble they made for bees was different from their other calls. King called it the bee rumble. It wasn't just a scream of fear, it was a message. So she tested that too. She recorded the bee rumble and played that call to elephants who couldn't hear any bees at all. And they reacted the same way: head shaking, backing off, moving away. Think about what that means. The first elephant wasn't just afraid, it was warning the others. It essentially had a word for bees, a specific sound that tells the whole herd: danger, insects, get out. Later research found elephants even have a separate alarm call for humans. So the giant that runs from a bee isn't panicking mindlessly, it's speaking. So let's go back to that farmer losing his crops to elephants. For years, the answer to elephants was bigger fences or guns. But Lucy King looked at all of this and asked a different question. What if you didn't need to fight the elephant at all? What if you just use the one thing it already fears? The idea is called a beehive fence, and it's beautifully simple. You ring a farm with fence posts, and every 10 meters or so, you hang a real working beehive. Between the hives, you string a light wire. An elephant tries to push through, but the moment it bumps that wire, every hive on the line swings and shakes. The bees come pouring out, and the elephant does exactly what its instincts scream. It turns around and leaves. No injury, no gunshot, no dead elephant. Just a big animal deciding once again that bees aren't worth it. Now, a clever idea is one thing. The real question is whether it holds up over years across hundreds of hungry elephants. So they measured it over 6 growing seasons. More than 3,000 elephants approached these protected farms. And in a normal year, the beehive fences turned away around 86% of them. Even across a brutal drought, when the bees themselves struggled, the fences still stopped roughly 3 out of 4. But here's the best part. The bees don't just guard the farm, they make honey. Farmers sell it as elephant-friendly honey, and it becomes real income on top of the crops they just saved. So the same insect that terrifies the elephant now feeds the family. The elephant gets to live, the farmer gets to eat and earn, and a fight that used to end in dead elephants ends with both sides walking away. We spent years seeing the elephant as unstoppable. The truth is stranger and better than that. The biggest animal on land quietly listens for the smallest and remembers to be afraid. And when we finally stopped trying to overpower that giant and started paying attention to the one thing it fears, we found a way to save it. Turns out the most powerful thing in the elephant's world was never the lion or the fence or us. It was a bee.